All right, welcome back everybody to the Rattle Cage podcast. I am Ryan, joined as always is Sterling. Coming off Martinsville. Uh yeah, decent race. Not as good as what I thought it was going to be. I thought the November, I think it was November race was pretty good, but I don't know. All in all, this one only a couple lead changes, really. Whoever was the leader basically had it made. Uh what do you think, Sterling? Anything to take from last week's race?
I mean, not really. I feel like we did a pretty good job at breaking that one down. But I mean,
Yeah,
pretty much whoever was in the lead was in the lead, which was basically
yeah,
Hamlin.
yeah. It was really weird. I messaged the Discord and I messaged a bunch of people beforehand. And I was like, bet whatever you have on that Chase Elliott Ryan Blaney bet. Because I was like, granted it did end up winning, but that caution just completely like threw things sideways. And I was like, I was sweating out that bet. I'm not gonna lie, but
That one that caution at the beginning.
that caution at the beginning where Blaney stayed out.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
I missed the first few laps, so I started watching like right after that, and was like, what?
Yeah, so there was like a debris caution on, I think it was like lap 30, and the whole field came in. I think 5 cars stayed out and Blaney was one of them, and I was like, "Oh, that sucks," but like he'll get swallowed up, and none of those cars did. I think Josh Berry was one of those cars.
He
Like,
ended up leading.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the whole first stage, really.
Yeah.
Which
So,
I had like 45% of him, so I was
oh,
glad to see it until
yeah.
he destroyed.
Yeah, that would have been nice. But yeah, that was kind of strange because everybody was saying about how, obviously we saw it in November. I think from what I heard, like I was listening to Door Bumper Clear and stuff like that, they were saying that the weather was colder, so tire wear wasn't as prominent as what it was in November. But yeah, I mean we just didn't see really any tire wear. So that kind of, but luckily that bet hit. It didn't seem like DraftKings really updated their odds or anything after qualifying and practice.
No, I couldn't believe that Blaney was still the favorite by like a
Yeah,
decent chunk.
yeah, that's what I made a very sizable bet on it. My boss made a very sizable bet on it, and like he came out at like lap 50. He was like, "What the hell is Blaney doing beating Elliott?" He told me this was like a surefire thing, and I'm like, I thought it was, but luckily, it did end up hitting. But
That's not as good as my Friday bet. I told the boss at work that it was going to be Corey Heim, no doubt, and it was going to be until we got that tire cut down.
yeah, yeah, is. So what do we got this weekend? We got Xfinity and Cup, correct? No trucks at Darlington.
No
Boy,
trucks.
that would be kind of a shit show, honestly. It'd be kind of fun to watch, but it'd probably be a shit show, even worse than the Xfinity Martinsville race. But yeah, we're gonna turn the page and go on to Darlington. But before we do, I say it every week. Anybody that's not in the Discord, it is free. We have our own Rattled Cage Discord. We have a bunch of guys in there that are way smarter than me. It's just we had the guy take home the $15 GPP last weekend. Nate Barnett. Shout out to him. He split it. I believe Sterling said 7 ways,
Yeah,
but
it was
he
for
still he still took it down. What, 25K? Damn
yeah,
near.
he had like 24-9 almost. So
Yeah, so shout out to him. Obviously, Brad's got a bunch of fantasy racing world championship
yeah, I think
tickets.
how many is he up to now? Like 3?
I was gonna say I think it was 3 because I think he got another one this weekend. So, Brad's in there. Ben, Sterling said the last 8 GPPs he's been in the top 10, but hasn't won yet. But he's been there, so um, he's he's in the Discord. We
Cam
have the
fan,
actual.
you seen him up front there for a
Yeah,
while.
Cam Fan was up front for a while. I saw he was in a hellacious split at one time for the win.
Yeah, just a 2-way split. That would have been a nice
Yeah,
one. Would have just beat you out at Michigan.
yeah. We had the fantasy racing world champion from last year, Evil Surge. He's in there. So anybody that wants to get in the Discord, basically, it's a great Discord. We have a lot of great minds in there. It's free. I will, after this video, you'll see a YouTube comment from Ryan and a bunch of numbers. That is me. And I will post the link to Discord in that comment. So click it, join, say hi, introduce yourself, ask questions, whatever. If you're a novice, if you're experienced, cool. Come shoot the shit. So you don't even have to contribute if you don't want to. So, but enough about that. We will go on to Homestead. So every week Sterling makes these great
Darlington.
Darlington. I'm sorry. Yeah, I literally was looking at your sheet and I saw Homestead, but they're running the same tire. I'm not, we're not looking at Homestead too much, but we are going on to Darlington. So Sterling makes up these great sheets. They are very color coded. He does it every week, and they are great to look at. I will let Sterling take over, but I know this is the tire code. So these are the tires that they will be running this weekend at Darlington. They ran it, looks like Charlotte, Darlington in September, Homestead, Vegas, and Homestead this year. So I will let Sterling take it over because he's got it sorted by average. So this is their driver ranking or rating in
Yeah.
these races.
Yeah, which that rating, it's just like between fast laps, laps led, top 15, average running position, pretty much
Yep.
all the stats that you see on the other sheet. But basically, I just seen that it feels like the first time this year that we get a tire that they've actually ran quite a bit. And now what is this, the third intermediate track? So we should be able to go into this week actually better than any other week this season. So I'm actually looking forward to it quite a bit. But basically, one of the big things that sticks out here is this guy right there. Kind of obvious, Kyle Larson. Gonna think of him anytime you go to a track that you're gonna be up against the wall. So basically this by Vegas. Kind of try to compare here, and you really see that only Larson is the guy that was fast at both tracks, basically. You could argue Alex Bowman, which is like a guy I'm going to be looking for value this week. I don't really want to get a whole lot into this chart. It was just something I made, something you can get into their Discord and look at that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, this chart and stuff will be available in the Discord. I do see Alex Bowman for 8,300, so that is obviously this is pre-qualifying, pre-practice. All these preview shows, we just kind of just blurt out names, and obviously once they practice and qualify, we'll do a driver by driver breakdown, and you'll have more um insight of where to go. But yeah, I mean, Bowman looks like great value. What do you sort?
Trying to sort it
Yep.
here, and we'll see what the average is between just Homestead and Vegas.
Yeah,
Which
that's good too, because that would be which drivers are bringing speed this year. Obviously a lot of moving parts in the off season and stuff like that. So yeah, that would be nice.
I don't know why I put Dinger at the top there, but he is going to be like fifth guy here, which I want to say his price is like 64 or something. So that's probably where I'm going to look for a lot of savings.
I got it pulled up right now. Dinger is 69.
Not as cheap as I thought, but I was playing around with lineups a little bit today, and I feel like we're going to be able to build like fairly balanced lineups.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. When your top guy is 10-5, and we'll probably have a lot of that top guy, but yeah, with him being only 10-5, and there looks like a lot of value, like Ryan Preece. I know he was a guy that stuck out to me. Even Josh Berry, with as good as he's ran all year this year, he's still 7,800. Bowman, that was a name that stuck out, 8,300. He's been good every single week this year.
Tyler Reddick, he's another one. Then you can look out and see he's been good on this tire in general. Like basically, the Coke 600 was the only race that he has not been that great at, which I will have to go back and see what happened there, because I would say there's definitely a reason.
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to remember. I don't really remember what happened when the Coke 600.
But basically, as far as the top guys, we're going to be looking right here, which makes me think right here is where we're going to be looking for that lap leader and fastest laps guy.
Yep.
But
Yep. Bowman, Barry. We just said about Barry, then Reddick, Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace. That crew chief change. It looks really making. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. Barker's his last name. Is it
Booty.
Booty? Yeah, yeah. Booty Barker making Booty Barker look bad, but I don't know. Oh,
Trying to
hang on. Yep, you're
pull up.
good. There we go. Okay, so this is what's this? Fast laps and laps led.
Yeah, this just happened to be what I was on, but computer's acting up now. No, it's not. I'm just blind. But this is that chart that I do for every race. It's going to show you all their finishes and their next gen air at the track they're going to. So obviously Darlington, average run position, quality passes, fast laps, yada yada yada.
Which it
Then we'll
kind
go
of it
back
kind of
here.
shows how volatile Darlington is. Like if you look at that, like the past couple weeks, I've noticed like when we bring this chart up, it's like Ryan Blaney had like an average finish of like fifth, I think, at Martinsville, and then like there was like
3.5.
yeah, and then we go to Darlington, and now granted, which I think there are 6 of them at Martinsville, but still there's 6 of them here, and the best guys an average finish of 10.3. Like, granted, yeah, something happened there in September 24, but this is just
Down
how
yeah,
volatile Darlington is.
down here is probably the craziest thing to me to see how inconsistent Kyle Larson has actually been here, which
Yeah,
I can already see it. He's going to start on the front row, probably on the pool Sunday, and we're going to have to sit here and think, do we play him? Because, I mean, I feel like it's a 50-50 chance at that point. Rather he goes out and leads every lap, or he goes out
yeah,
and fucks up and finishes dead last.
yeah. I know iFantasy Race posted this chart either yesterday or today, and that was the first thing that stuck out to me because I was like, oh, man, a 34th, a 20th, a third. What was that other one? 36 or is that 30?
Yeah, that was the very
Um,
first race here, 36.
yeah, I mean, it's just he's so yeah, or not versatile. He's so inconsistent here because then he's got a first and a fourth.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of goes to show you what Darlington is, because if you look
It
down
is
through, there's not really anyone consistent. Like
no,
Byron sticks out, Kozlowski, kind of, Bubba. Like it's kind of guys that I honestly wouldn't really think of.
no, just more like I don't want to say conservative guys, but like William Byron, you don't really think of him being like over the top, grabbing a handful of wheel and over driving a car,
Yeah,
So I think that's just a product of that. Brad Keselowski, I've got to say, this year he's just been
terrible. Like
terrible. I don't know where he ended up finishing at Martinsville. I faded him. I couldn't play him at all. I'm gonna look it up right now, but 27th. He's got one top 10 this year. No, no top 10s this year. I'm sorry. He finished 11th. Uh, I'm gonna guess that was Vegas. Pepsi 400. I'm gonna guess that was Vegas. So just downright awful. So I hope Keselowski starts in the back or something, and he's mega chalk because I'm fading him.
yeah, and I'm looking back at that tire code chart now, and he's never really been good. Like he had one good race. It was Darlington 2024 May race that he was actually really good at. But if you look back at this tire code this year, Vegas and Homestead, he has like an average driver rating of 50. So he's
Terrible.
not been good this year.
Yeah.
And then we know that this is the first year that they're running 3 cars full time.
Yep.
So it makes you wonder, is he just kind of stepping more towards that owner role, or
It's got to be something. I mean, is age catching up with him? Is he just like you said? Is he just out there running around as a test car? Like, is he testing something for Priest and
I feel
Bushers?
like
Does he know that he's not the lead dog anymore? And he's, I don't know. It's hard to tell. But another thing that stuck out to me, we kind of talked about in the Discord, was Ryan Blaney obviously getting taken. I do remember him getting taken out by Truex on lap 2 last year here. Did he get taken out by Truex both times?
that's what Dustin was saying in the
Yeah.
Discord.
I remember the first. I remember the one. It was literally lap 2. Truex out of character overdrove it on lap 2. I think it kind of took him out. But other than that, he's just kind of been average at Darlington. But this tire code and the way he's ran this year, Martinsville, I don't know. I mean, he was okay, but starting in the back, I'm sure that kind of really,
There was times though that it looked like he was going to be the fastest car on the track and just go forward, and then would get in too much traffic or something. So like, I don't know what it was this week, but I mean, with Vegas and Homestead the way he ran, I'm going to trust
100%.
that. And I think his price is 97, which I think is too cheap, because I really think he's going to be a big factor this week.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the bad luck, he could be in Christopher Bell's seat right now and probably have 3 wins,
Yeah,
or at
definitely, because
least 2. I mean,
he
Phoenix, he
was
was one of the faster cars before he blew up. Vegas, he was one of the faster cars before, I believe he wrecked at Vegas.
yeah.
And then Homestead, he was by far the fastest car. Even Larson was like, I don't think we have anything for this guy. So, like, all in all, if it wasn't for the bad luck, I think if we had a weekly power rankings, I think Blaney would be number 1 if it wasn't for the bad luck. But obviously, here we are. But it is worth noting, Blaney's team has speed this year. A
And
lot more
a
speed than
lot,
previous years. Yeah.
definitely. Like, you could argue that they are the team to beat.
Yeah, yeah. Like normally, I mean, I'm gonna spit this out. I don't have really any facts to really back it up, but I felt like Blaney's team was always kind of a late bloomer. Like it was always like they kind of like laid in the weeds a little bit, and then like mid year they'd come on, and then but yeah, this year they're firing on all cylinders. So I'm with Sterling. I think obviously pre-practice, pre-qualifying, you're looking at Blaney a lot this weekend.
Yeah, but we'll switch over to the average run position. Just kind of glance at it real quick. Byron is again up top there. Reddick. It's just, you look down through here and you still see no consistency really.
No, none at all. No, because even Ty Gibbs at the beginning of his career, he was kind of shitty. It looks like his last 2 ones kind of figured it out, but all right. What's this one here, Sterling?
That's just quality
Left
passes. That's
quality passes.
kind of like, I mean, Josh Berry somewhat sticks out here, but it's weird that if you look back through here, seems like last year there was twice as many passes or last fall, I guess there was twice as many passes as really any other Darlington race in the next gen,
Yeah.
which is odd because it's been the same tire for the most part, the first last 2 at least.
Yeah. 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 What are we looking at? Is this quality passes here?
Yeah, that's I was getting ready to switch over though. Look,
Okay.
fastest laps.
Fastest lap. So Ty Dillon, but that's just because he hasn't had.
Yeah, he just had that one race here, basically. He ran
Yeah.
4, but he had that one race of 30, which I would assume was just him being a completely different pit cycle,
Yeah.
which we're probably going to see this week, and he could be that guy
Honestly,
again.
Ty Dillon, I mean, not to really spend a lot of time talking about Ty Dillon, but he's honestly done really good in that race car.
He is definitely outperformed what I expected out of Ty Dillon.
Yeah. Yeah, but going back to, so this is laps led, not fastest laps, correct? So we got
No, this is
fastest laps.
fastest
Okay, so
laps.
we got Larson there, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's a name we haven't seen pop up on the charts a whole lot, but that's not surprising. See him pop here. Reddick, looks like Byron was 17. And then, yeah, is this a Christopher Bell's another name we haven't really talked about? Is this Christopher Bell track? Looks like he's okay. Pops off from time to time.
He is going to run the Xfinity race too. So
Honestly, that Xfinity race is going to be hard. I was looking at that. All three of them Cup drivers are in good rides. Chastain, I think, is in Junior Motorsports. And
yeah,
then, yeah, was it Elliott? It's in the 17.
yeah, he's in the 17. I couldn't remember who
Yeah.
the third one was.
Yeah. And then, yeah, Christopher Bell's and the Gibbs equipment. So all three of them are in good equipment. So I feel like that's going to be I hope it's a good race. For DFS, I feel like it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, I think Bell should walk away with that race actually, but we'll have to wait and see. That tire code. The Xfinity series is running. They got like, I don't know. They have a good chunk of races on it, like the past 4 seasons at 2 or 3 different tracks. I'm going to look into that and probably have another chart made that I'll have in the Discord if I do get the time to make that one.
Nice. Nice.
But back on these fast laps in the Cup Series, to me, it's really the obvious. Larson, then like you said, Hamlin, Byron, probably Byron Larson being the most consistent here in general. So once again, that's where we're going to look this week when it comes to wanting that speedster.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. That's where my head is right now. And when do they practice qualify? I think it's Saturday. I'll look it up right now,
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure.
I want to say it's like noon because I think Xfinity practice is like 10:30.
Okay. Well, next week's Bristol. All right, so we got practice is at 12:35 and qualifies at 1:45, both on Amazon Prime.
Which, oh man, Amazon Prime. I always forget about that actually. But I'll have a practice chart up in the Discord as well. You can go through, look back through to see who has had like the best 5 lap, 3 lap, 10 lap, etc.
Yeah, that is nice to look at. Any other pages on this chart, Sterling?
We'll go to the optimal lineups, but real quick on the lap sled, it just kind of seems like each year there's one guy that leads
Oh my, I
half
see
the
that
race.
now.
Like this one, May 2023. I'm trying to think. I want to say Truex led 155 or something like that in this race. I know
Okay.
Truex and Chastain led pretty much the entire race in May 2023, but then with like 20 laps to go, they both wrecked. So
I'm gonna say a name here, and that's since you said Truex, Chase Briscoe won here last year, did he not?
he did September.
That's what I thought. Yeah, Briscoe being in Truex's old equipment. I'm going to go back to last week saying that in Martinsville, and it didn't really pan out, but that is one thing to remember. Briscoe
Yeah,
won here
and
last year in Stuart Haas equipment, so and this year he's coming in. What do you want to call it? JGR equipment. So definitely.
yeah, and he this is the kind of track that I think about when I think Briscoe, which honestly, almost any track is a Briscoe track.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just haven't been lucky enough to quite see him in good equipment yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But here's the optimal lineups, and I haven't added this little. I would do that before I upload this in the Discord, but normally down here I'll have the average cautions, caution laps, green flag run, and then number of speedsters and average amount of points and whatnot. But once again, both of these races are completely different lap wise. I believe this week and the May races have all been 293 laps, I want to say.
Okay.
And then the September races are like 397 or something weird. But basically, you can just look here and see that last May they had 3 speedsters that scored at least 20 points in the optimal lineup. They all started inside the top 4, which is wild to me. I really wouldn't have thought of that coming into this week, that you'd want to play potentially 3 guys starting in the top 4.
No, that's a wild optimal. You are right.
And then this one here, there's really not anything we can take from it. I mean, it's in here, but I added this little note. Truex and Chastain combined for 102.7 speedster points, but they wrecked with 20 to go, like I just said. So this lineup is kind of irrelevant, but it's there anyways.
Okay.
And then you look back at the 2022 May race, there was really only one main speedster. It was a pool sitter, Joe Logano. And then Tyler Reddick, 10th to 2nd. He was like a secondary speedster. But, I mean, after looking at that laps led chart, I kind of feel like I'm going to focus on just that one main lap leader. I'm still going to look for a secondary and potentially a third, but my main focus is just going to be like that one with a random secondary.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely looks like it. I mean, this week it was Denny Hamlin. So, I mean, if you didn't have Denny Hamlin, you were basically SOL. So, yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It just seems like you're going to want that one guy that can run off 170 laps led.
Yeah, and then this chart here, this one here is percent of laps led by starting position, and this one here is fastest laps by starting position.
Okay.
But typically, I would expect the top 2 rows to have led most, or top 2 spots. But really, that was only in May 2024 that pool sitter led like 60% of the race. So I'm actually completely lying here, because you look here and he did it again in 2023. So, but let me pull this. Dustin sent me something on Discord that I want to talk about. Actually, I sent him these optimal lineups like last night or something. You see that little math shit he did? Just the average
No.
positions. He did it
Oh,
for
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I did see that. That was interesting.
Yeah, it kind of made you think about it a little differently.
Yeah, let's see if we can pull that up.
But for Darlington, he had that basically the average starting positions are 2nd, 8.5, 13th, 26th, 30th, and 33rd. So Gonna kind of look for 2 guys in the top 10, 3 guys in the top 15, and then there's PD guys back there. So, but
Yeah,
I
I
guess
was looking for that. I can't find that, but yeah, I do remember that.
then basically the last chart in here is the team history chart. And Hendrick's got the most wins. JGR has the most laps led, but Hendrick clearly the most consistent here.
Yeah, this is for years. I think for years, I think all these tracks are going to be Hendrick versus JGR, but yeah.
You want to go over odds or anything?
Yeah, we can. Let me bring up sports books right now.
While you're bringing the sports book up, I will hit on The Sims,
Okay.
which anybody can hop in the Discord and find Astukas. He has him and Keenan, or maybe it's Keelan. We'll just call him the Leaf. But they developed a sim for NASCAR. They also do one for F1. Currently working on developing one for MMA.
Okay.
But their F1 sims are like spot on. That's basically the computers does all runs. We'll say 15,000 different simulations. It'll take lineups from that. It'll organize those, do all the math and whatnot, and show you how many times that certain lineup would hit in the optimal in the main contest on DraftKings. But the F1 sheet, it's kind of be basically just. But the thing I like about the NASCAR sheet is you can pull it up, and it starts off based off of the odds, which we're about to look through. Those get updated after practice and qualifying. So we'll put in odds for each driver's wins, top 5, top 3, top 10s. And then we kind of make adjustments ourselves, and you can make adjustments yourself too if you have the Sims, which I know he's talking about having that as a paid subscription. I want to say that was going to start this week, and that's going to be like $40 a month, which is well worth it once you get into it and understand what it is and learn how to use it, which I'll give you guys any tips. He'll give you any tips. The other guys in there will give you any tips. But it's really badass because, like I said, you start off with the odds, but and say you think Kyle Larson just flat out is going to win this race no matter what. You can make it so those lineups that it runs, he's the leader 100% of the time, or maybe not 100% of the time, but he wins that race every time. And they'll go through and they'll run 15,000 sims or whatever, pull the same lineups and whatnot, and then you can just look through and kind of where you want to go. Like, I think last week I ran 15,000 and it got like 36,000 different lineups. And the top lines were shown like a 50 optimal count. So it's kind of one of them things you got to get in the Discord and see to really understand, which if I would have been thinking ahead of time, I'd pull up one of the input sheets to kind of go through. But
Yeah, it is neat. I know Sterling. He always sends me his inputs, and then he'll send me the optimal rate, and those are really cool. A lot of work went into those.
yeah, and they continue to make improvements every week. So
Yeah, So I do got the odds up. Kyle Larson is the favorite as of right now, plus 450. And then it goes Reddick, Blaney, Hamlin, Byron, and Bell. So I mean, I don't think we saw a lot of Byron in the top 2, top 3 category there. So I don't mind him being the 6th highest driver. Maybe better put a little sprinkle on him.
Yeah, that's trying to find like a long shot that I think would be interesting.
I wouldn't mind like a Josh Berry top 5 for plus 450.
Yeah, I think that's very fair, really.
Yeah.
High tire wear track. He has actually ran decent here, anyways.
And then the thing that I think's crazy is I think a lot of these are worth just a sprinkle, but I'm gonna name them. Justin Haley plus 700 for a top 10. I believe he ran ninth here last year. I believe I could be wrong on that. But I'm pretty sure this is where that top 10 streak started last year when Haley was just clicking off them top 10s. I'm pretty sure Darlington was the first or second race of that.
I'm kind of glad you brought that up, actually, because I just pulled it up and I'm looking back through the finishes here in the next gen. And all of the Springton races, Haley has a top 10, a ninth
Yeah.
last year, eighth in 2023, and a third in
Yeah. So
2022.
he's plus 700 for a top 10. Now, Justin Haley hasn't really done much yet this year. So, I mean, I get those odds, but still for plus 700, I'm going to take a sprinkle on that. Ryan Priest plus 200. He's on a top 10 streak right now, I believe. I believe he got a top 10 at Martinsville.
For some
But
reason, I want to say he finished 11th.
okay, he could have, but either way, he's been a top 10 machine. I know he had a streak going, so like plus 200 at a high tire wear track once again. I believe he finished 10th or a top 10 here last year also. In lesser equipment, so I definitely don't mind that for plus 200. Ty Gibbs plus 180, Josh Berry plus 130, Bowman plus 120. I don't understand why Bowman's plus 120, but I like all those odds for top tens.
Yeah, I can't pull up the right sheet, but I think actually Priest finished 7th.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. But I know he did get a top 10 here in one of the Darlington races. So, uh, matchups. Let me look at the matchups real quick. We got Larson versus Reddick. I don't really like that one. I don't know if you do, Sterling. If one of these stick out to you, let me know. Hamlin versus Byron. I mean, Byron should be the winner there, but I don't think that's enough to make me want to bet that one. Logano versus Chastain. I think those are both just 7th to 12th place guys you're gonna sit there and fight between. Here's one that might stick out. Ty Gibbs plus money, plus 120 against Kyle Busch.
That's the one that stuck out to me, and it's not really driver versus driver for me. It's equipment versus equipment.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, that's the same for me. I mean, especially if Ty Gibbs wasn't plus money, I don't think I'd be as in on it. But Ty Gibbs plus
Nah,
money
like
there,
if they were
I like
both
that.
even money or like something, I would not be all for it. But plus 120, I think, is a fair bet.
Yeah, and then Chase Elliott versus Bubba. I don't think there's. I didn't really. Maybe Bubba because I didn't. I mean, we didn't really talk about Chase Elliott this week, so I don't know. But I don't think that's enough to really move me there.
No.
All right. So, yeah, the only one I really saw that I think I'm going to put a sprinkle on is Ty Gibbs over Kyle Busch, as much as it pains me to do it. But I think that's a decent bet.
Yeah,
I
that's
I don't know. I've never, last week was the first week that I've really dove, or I guess we together have dove into it pre-qualifying and practice. And then I looked post-qualifying and practice. Maybe they never do update them after qualifying and practice, but last week when I got on there and saw Chase Elliott was plus money against Ryan Blaney, that was just wild to me. But I don't know.
yeah, it's normally they do update it, but last
They
week
do.
it seemed like they definitely did not.
Yeah, maybe they fired their NASCAR guy or something midweek or something. I don't know.
Intern.
Yeah. All right, Sterling. Let's do these groups. I do enjoy these groups. So first up, I'm gonna use one of my bonus bets here. Anybody that doesn't do it, this is easy money. You just do the no sweat bet on the MLB. I can do $5. I know some of my buddies can do more, whatever, but $5 if you could do a home run or a parlay. If your parlay or home run does not hit, you get the bet back in a bonus bet. So this is where I spend my bonus bets right here is groups or matchups. So, but Sterling, I'll go ahead and start with Group A here. We got Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, and Denny Hamlin. I think you have to go Kyle Larson here. I mean, if you wanted to go Tyler Reddick just because he's plus 280, I didn't say the odds. Larson's plus 190, Reddick's plus 280, Blaney's plus 300, and Hamlin's plus 300. I wouldn't mind. Actually, I don't know. I wouldn't even mind Ryan Blaney there at plus 300 because Reddick as a whole hasn't really done anything yet this year to really stick out to me. So I'd either go Larson or Blaney, but I'm going to go Larson.
Yeah, I feel like you have to go Larson, but I do think Blaney is very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Group B, though, is William Byron plus 175, Christopher Bell plus 230, Logano plus 350, and Briscoe plus 350. I hate to keep picking the favorite, but I feel like you got to go with Byron just because he was a name that going through everything saying William Byron. So
I
I feel
agree.
like if I picked someone else, I'd just be chasing the odds, and I think that's dumb.
Yep. I agree. Next up, we got Bubba Wallace plus 240, Ross plus 275, Kyle Busch plus 275, and Chase Elliott plus 275. Um, I hate to keep going the favorite like you said, but I think I'm going to go Bubba Wallace here. He's been on a tear.
Yeah, I definitely agree to that. Then Group D, Chris Buescher plus 190, Keselowski plus 270, Alex Bowman plus 280, Josh Berry plus 350, and we are not going with the favorite. We're going to go Alex Bowman.
That's who I was thinking too. So yeah, plus 10,203 are the odds. $1 pays. Oh, that would be what a $102, $103.
103.03. $10 would
Nice.
get you a little over $1,000.
Yeah.
I do like making these bets because I feel like you can make pretty realistic ones and get pretty wild odds.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, you don't. I just feel like they're not like too crazy out there, and yeah, for like being those odds, that's just crazy to me. So, oh wow, DraftKings now. This is the first time I'm ever seeing it has the most fastest laps bet.
Yeah, they started doing that this year. I'm not a big fan of the idea, honestly. But I would be
Yeah,
afraid to bet it. We can look at it, but
yeah, that's great. That's the first time I'm seeing that, but
I feel
uh,
like being Darlington, you could fairly safely put a decent chunk on Larson at plus 500.
yeah, I feel like you're right. Top Chevy, nothing really sticks out to me there. I mean, obviously you got your Larson favorite, William Byron plus 330. And other than that, it's gonna be probably one of them two that are the top.
Yeah, I mean, the only longer odds I would even really consider would be Bowman, and I
And
think
that's what I
you're
was gonna say.
asking a lot.
You are asking a lot. Top Ford, Blaney, Logano, Busher, Kozlowski, Barry. I wouldn't mind a Barry, just in case it goes like Larson, Byron, um, maybe Reddick finished third, and I could see like Josh Berry finishing fourth, like Josh Berry racking a top 5.
I could too, and I wouldn't be against Ryan Priest plus 1400 either.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't. I don't mind those odds there. So Ford's kind of up for battle there. I don't mind even a Busher. I'm not betting Blaney and Logano for those odds, but yeah, Busher, Berry, Priest. I don't mind any of those. Top Toyota, same thing. I wouldn't mind a Bubba. You could definitely see Bubba finishing in the top 5, possibly being top Toyota. I don't think I'm gonna bet Reddick or Hamlin at this time, but Bubba or Briscoe, I'm more probably leaning Bubba there, but
Yeah, that's where I would lean on that probably.
yeah,
And
I
then
agree.
I was just messing around with it real quick just to see if you did parlay Hamlin, Blaney, Larson, that's still plus 1700.
So, you can only bet 16 cents on a Sterling. This is completely stupid, but it maxes you out at 16-cent bet. But you could go JJ Yaley, Zane Smith, and John Hunter Nemechek bet 16 cents and win $237,000.
Jeez.
that's crazy, but that's never gonna happen, obviously. But
Darlington Super Speedway.
yeah. Yeah, 16 cents is all they'll let you bet on that. But yeah, 237,000. But yeah, winning manufacturer. I don't know. That doesn't really intrigue me at those odds.
No, but I mean, I always feel like Chevy is fairly safe just because they're over half the fucking field. But
I agree, but at plus 140, I mean, we do have some Fords in the field that could win, and potentially Briscoe, Bubba, or Reddick or Bell. Bell could.
yeah, that's
So
really any of the Toyotas except legacy cars.
yeah, yep. And fastest lap, I ain't touching that. I mean, although last week we did see the winner, Denny Hamlin, have the fastest lap, but that all the time doesn't happen. So, but I think that's all we got for the betting part. So
Yeah, that's
we covered some
I was just
DFS. We covered the betting.
yeah, I mean, I think the goal for this weekend is a Sunday morning
Yeah,
live show for the driver breakdown. That's the plan is for me to have my own sim inputs in and have those ran. We can kind of go over those. That's going to be like a base sheet, not any adjustments, basically just made off of the odds. So we can talk about that in the sense of basically exactly how the sports book
yeah,
expects it to play out.
yeah, yeah. That'll work, Sterling. So we will. Yeah, we're gonna shoot for Sunday morning. Um, like I said, guys, get in that Discord, and that's about all I got. So we will see you guys Sunday then.
Yep.
All right, see you guys.
So